Welcome to the Schuylkill County Office of Public Safety 911 Communications Review for 2023. Standard words and phrases. Users of the Schuylkill County radio network shall refrain from using profanity and/or abusive language while transmitting messages. The use of profane and/or abusive language on FCC-regulated frequencies puts the transmitting organization and Schuylkill County at risk of a fine or licensure suspension. If an incident occurs, the chief of the department, municipal and county officials, and the Schuylkill County Fire Chiefs Association's Communications Committee would be notified. If the issue would continue, it could lead to that agency being suspended from use of the radio network. Certain words and phrases will be used on the county radio network in order to reduce the length of transmissions and to ensure the intent of the message is clearly understood. The statements below represent most of these words and phrases. Time is always expressed in a 24-hour format. Single transmissions will be used when changing unit status. Await acknowledgement before proceeding with any message or requests to the county. Under no circumstances will a Schuylkill County Communications Center or field personnel inquire or transmit on any talk group that deceased victims are field personnel. Under no circumstances will the names of injured or deceased field personnel be transmitted over the air. Communications of this nature shall be transmitted only by telephone to the Schuylkill County Communications Center. Here we have the phonetic alphabet approved for the Schuylkill County Radio Network. Knowing this phonetic alphabet comes in handy when relaying, for example, PP&L poll numbers or a police request to provide a vehicle registration plate number. Here are some commonly used words and phrases. Affirmative, a positive affirmation of information and/or a previous radio message. Available, an identified unit is available for dispatch. Class 5, term used to communicate that a fatality has occurred at an incident. Copy direct, used when one unit transmits directly to another unit and rebroadcasting information from Schuylkill County Communications Center is unnecessary, or a third party acknowledges that message without the need for Schuylkill County personnel to rebroadcast. Mayday, an emergency distress signal indicating that one or more fire personnel need emergency assistance to escape an immediate danger to life or health atmosphere, or any other life-threatening situation. Units stating Mayday shall receive the highest communication priority. All non-related transmissions cease. Negative, a negative affirmation of information and/or a previous radio transmission. Okay, or received. Message received, understood, and will be complied with. On scene, an identified unit is on the scene of an event. Out of service, an identified unit is unavailable for dispatch to an event. Part check, personnel accountability report. Incident command will be asked at 20-minute intervals to conduct an accountability report. Part checks will be done on the following: structural type fires, carbon monoxide, and hazmat incidents, where team members are in a hot zone, searches, technical and confined space rescues, where team members are in a hot zone, or any other incident the dispatcher or incident commander deems necessary. Priority, the unit is encountering an immediate situation which must be communicated to others operating to command or to county. Repeat the last message. Responding, an identified unit is en route to an event. Response check, used to verify that a unit has responded to a dispatch incident. A check is done after second dispatch and again after third. Stand by. Listen, but do not transmit until directed to do so by another unit or Schuylkill County Communications Center. Stand by for an event. An identified unit is on location of a contracted event, notification will be received via telephone only. Under control. The incident is stabilized and will not progress beyond the capabilities of resources at the scene. Radio announcements. Schuylkill County Communication Center will only make announcements pertinent to field users and following FCC directives. These announcements will be explained in detail. Steady tone will be used before announcing a cancel response broadcast. The warble alert will be used as soon as Incident Command or the Schuylkill County Communication Center acknowledges a Mayday alert. Two beeps will be used to relay important unit safety information. Three beeps will be for additional information, a Holden station or reduced rate broadcast, and four beeps for special weather and other type announcements. The following two slides will show the fire districts and what primary fire channel they are assigned to. Fire EMS frequencies. The two primary talkback channels are Fire North, Fire South. Fire Ground digital channels for those districts using Fire North and Fire South are A1, 2, and 3, B1, 2, and 3, and overflow or storm-related incidents will be asked to use C1. Fireground analog channels assigned to those banks would be Fireground A, Fireground B, and Fireground C. The EMS digital talkback channels would be Schuylkill EMS 1 as primary and Schuylkill EMS 2 as a backup. The digital interop frequencies. The Schuylkill County operation channels would be Schuylkill Ops 1 through 5 and EMS operations 1 through 4. Other analog frequencies under the TAC Ops talk around would be TAC Ops 1, 2, and 3, a Fire Police talk around 1 and 2, and analog frequencies to talk to aeromedical services, Medevac, Life Flight, Pennstar, Lifeline, and also the statewide regional EMS. Some general radio procedures. Messages from field units shall be short and concise. With a simulcast system, it is imperative to keep messages brief and the channel open for others to communicate. All units will wait to be acknowledged by the Schuylkill County Communication Center prior to giving their message. This is to ensure that the message was received and understood. Field units who state priority with their unit number will be given the highest preference to be answered in the case of multiple units calling Schuylkill County Communication Center. The use of priority category will be restricted to the type of emergency where life or personal injury is at stake and for a critical situation requiring immediate assistance. However, please note that a priority is not for a Mayday. Units involved in parades, training exercises, normal activities, etc., when contacting the center, shall call the supervisor's extension to report out-of-service status. Units shall not call the fire dispatch direct extension under any circumstances or by radio. Also, the fire dispatching direct extension numbers are not to be given to the public for controlled burns, etc. The appropriate 10-digit phone number is to be used for controlled burns. Chief and line officer transmissions. Fire chiefs or other line officers responding to mutual aid incidents shall not call their status on radio, i.e. responding or on scene. The only time mutual aid line officers shall call the Schuylkill County Communication Center on radio is for a priority message or pertinent information. Scene size up, assuming temporary command, for example. Fire chiefs responding on apparatus to a mutual aid incident will only identify themselves as the fire apparatus, not the apparatus and the chief or chiefs that are responding. When the incident commander places a unit clear, the unit automatically becomes available. There is no need to call available once you have been cleared by the incident commander. If you are cleared from the incident and your apparatus is not available for calls, contact Schuylkill County Communication Center on your primary talkback channel and place your apparatus out of service. When the vehicle is ready to be placed available, contact Schuylkill County Communication Center via one of the non-emergency lines. Please do not call the fire or EMS extensions directly. Apparatus or line officers are not to report themselves back in their primary coverage area or report themselves back in station and off radio. Incident command. Upon arriving on scene, a unit shall take command of the incident with Schuylkill County Communication Center, whether it is a chief, line officer, or apparatus. If no line officer is present, only one apparatus will assume command. Only one incident command per incident is permitted. The incident commander is responsible for requesting additional apparatus on scene and control of personnel and equipment on scene. Once incident command has been set up, the dispatcher should be communicating directly with the incident commander for additional apparatus or services. This will eliminate any confusion with any request. If a unit comes up on air requesting a unit or units to be dispatched directly through the Schuylkill County Communication Center and is not the incident commander, the dispatcher will advise the incident commander of that request. Verbal Mayday signal. Per the Schuylkill County Fire Chiefs Association SOGs, any firefighter in distress should transmit the following message: Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Please refer to the SOG for further explanation of the guideline and of the acronym LUNAR. L for location, U for your unit number, N for your name, A for your assignment and your air resources available, and R for the resources that you think you might need to be freed from whatever the issue is. Incident Command will acknowledge the Mayday and advise Schuylkill County Communication Center. We will then activate the warble alert tones and advise of the situation and move all operating units to another ops channel. Incident Command and the Rapid Intervention Team will continue to operate on the original assigned ops channel. Emergency panic signal. When an emergency panic signal is received by the Schuylkill County Communication Center, a dispatcher will be assigned to monitor that channel until the panic situation has been identified, handled, or cleared. The fire dispatcher will immediately contact the incident commander and advise him or her of the following: 1. The radio ID, and 2. Relay any information that was transmitted on the emergency channel. If the situation requires a rescue, the warble tones will be broadcasted on the ops channel, and all units that are not part of the rescue operation will be moved to a secondary operation channel. Personnel Accountability Report. PAR is a mechanism needed to provide the incident command with a rapid ability to account for all personnel operating in the hazard, i.e. hot zone, as well as all personnel operating on scene. Additionally, the integrity of the operating crews must be maintained. Fire officers are responsible for knowing where their operating forces are located. A par of members operating in the hazardous area is to be completed at the 20-minute mark as noted by the Schuylkill County Communications Center. When the 20-minute timer goes off for the IC, the dispatcher will contact the IC, Schuylkill County or County 2, Tamaqua Incident Command, or Chief number. Your incident is now 20 minutes in duration. Checking for par. The IC will conduct his own par check and report back to the Schuylkill County Communications Center with his fire ground status. A par check will be dictated at every 20-minute mark. First par check at 20 minutes or for those operating in the hazardous area. The second par check, 40-minute mark for all members operating on scene. Third par check at 60, and it goes back to your units operating in those hazardous areas, with the fourth par check coming at 80 minutes for all members again operating at scene. The incident commander can cease par checks at any time by reporting that to the dispatcher. Other transmissions. Fire reported out. When a call is received and the caller states that the fire is reported out, the dispatcher will continue to dispatch the fire department and advise the responding units that the fire is reported out. Fire under control and extrication complete. When the chief or OIC radios in and states any of the above, the dispatcher will respond, "Okay, chief," or OIC with their unit number, fire under control or extrication complete, and the time. This will also be notated in the incident notes. Medical assist. If an ambulance service requests a fire company for medical assist, the dispatcher will dispatch the closest fire company to the location to assist using the MED or MED dispatch code. At no time will the dispatcher dispatch a fire company for a driver or EMT needed to assist the ambulance service. Incident transmissions. Call details will be given to the first chief officer and the first unit that goes responding. Every other unit due on the incident will only be given the operations channel and the incident commander identification, if one has been established. This policy has been established to eliminate the wait time to go responding on an incident. Most utility companies do not provide an ETA when they are requested to come to an incident. If they would provide one, the dispatcher will advise the incident commander via the radio. Due to the utility companies having multiple call centers and lengthy wait times, the Schuylkill County Communications Center will not call back to these agencies for ETA updates. During storm events, utility pole numbers should be called into the Schuylkill County Communications Center via one of the non-emergency lines. Calls should not be made directly to the dispatcher. Over the next few slides, we'll review the fire district numbering system and the fire officer district and plain English system. In the fire district unit numbers, 10 to 19 represents engines, 20 to 29 aerial devices, 30 to 39 tankers, 40 to 49 brush units, 50 to 59 rescues, 60 to 69 squads, 70 to 79 utilities, 80 to 89 fire police. We will also use some plain English with this system. ATV is for an ATV squad. UTV is for an off-road utility vehicle. Q will be for quick response units. Dive will be for a dive water rescue team. RIT for Rapid Intervention Team, AI for Air Monitoring, DE for Decon, and SCT for Spill Control Team. Within the Fire District Number Officer System, Fire Chief will be Chief, for example, Chief 99. Assistant Chiefs will run from 1 to 9, for example, 9901. And junior officers, captains, lieutenants, are in the 90s to 99s, for example, 9990. For those districts that opted for the plain English officer system, Fire Chief would be Chief 99, Deputy Chief, Deputy 99, Assistant Chief, Assistant 99, and so on. With districts with multiple stations, I have listed some examples. So the Fire Chief of Station 1 would be Chief 99-1. A Deputy Chief from Station 2 would be Deputy 99-2, and so forth. And lastly, the plain English officer system for EMS and non-fire department rescue agencies. The last part of our presentation will be about the county radios. A fire company agrees to notify county immediately or as soon as reasonably possible upon discovery of the loss or theft of any of the radios. The county will suspend the missing radio's electronic registration within the system so that it cannot be used by unauthorized persons. The county shall be responsible for the warranty, maintenance, and repair of the equipment within the active warranty period. All other maintenance and repair, including that which is a result of abuse, misuse, or neglect on the part of the fire company, shall be the responsibility of the fire company. The cost of maintenance and repairs to replace batteries and accessories shall be done by the fire company and administered by the county maintenance provided. The county or its authorized agent shall have the right to inspect the equipment with reasonable notice to the fire company. The fire company assumes all risks of loss or damage to the equipment from any cause. The fire company also agrees to return all equipment to the county upon the cancellation of this agreement or cessation of operation of the radio system. In either case, equipment shall be in good order and operating condition, reasonable wear and tear, except as may be otherwise provided in the agreement. Any notice, request, or complaint, demand, or other communication required by this agreement is to be given to or filed with county or the fire company, shall be in writing and shall be given or filed in the manner and at the address specified below. Director of Communications, Schuylkill County 901, 435 North Center Street, Pottsville, PA 17901. If you would need to get a hold of Director Crater or myself, I have listed our contact information. Feel free to contact us with any questions or concerns you may have. Congratulations, you made it to the end of this very entertaining slideshow. I will now open the floor for anyone that has any questions.